But here's Vivi. She wants to be part of the video. All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to start this channel off during December and during Christmas because I have a lot of Christmas DIYs in mind that I want to do. So it'll be, I'm not doing Vlogmas this year, maybe next year, and it won't be the only thing I talk about, but you'll see a lot of them throughout the next month. And they're usually, I don't like DIYs to be so convoluted and difficult that either they're frustrating and not something you enjoy doing, or they don't turn out the way you want because it takes, like, you know, professional level skill to do. So I have always associated Christmas with DIY and crafting. One of my earliest memories of Christmas is sitting in my childhood living room with my mom with a bowl of popcorn and a bowl of cranberries and stringing a needle and making just feet and feet of real popcorn and cranberry garland for our Christmas tree. We lived in a colonial house, so it was very much on theme to kind of have this handmade garland, but it also was just, I associate so much with my mom and with the season with crafting. So I haven't done a lot of Christmas crafts in the past few years. I was very much into like the Amazon and Williams Sonoma and just click and have it delivered to my door. But this year I wanted to do something different and kind of get back into those traditions that I had growing up. And I thought this was a really great place to start because I did find the inspiration for this while I was scrolling Williams Sonoma, because I'm pretty much always scrolling Williams Sonoma. I found this Jingle Bell garland that I thought would be perfect for kind of our TV console that we have. It's right next to, or like kind of catty corner from, our mantle. So I didn't want to just kind of rinse and repeat and put the same lit pine garland there like I had in the past. And this was really kind of unique, maybe not unique, but different, and not something you see on every table in every home at Christmas time. It was $50, which did kind of make me pause because it is Jingle Bells. And as I looked at it, I was like, it's not that intricate. I have enough know-how from years of crafting with my family that I think I can probably do this myself. So I did a little bit of research. There wasn't a lot online, which is also why I'm making this, because I feel like this is a really simple thing that people can do. And it's not hard. It can get frustrating, I will say that. But I did a little bit of research and went on to walmart.com, not an ad, just what I use, and pulled some 1-inch, see if I can pull it without totally messing up the audio here, 1-inch gold Jingle Bells, some gold floral wire, there's the jingle, and some red ribbon. Red velvet ribbon, because I thought that would be pretty to finish it off. All in all, because I did buy a special pair of wire cutters too, which turns out I did not need, but it ended up being like $47.90 by the time I was done. So the Williams Sonoma version was $49.99. My version is $47.90 plus quite a few hours of braiding wire. In fact, the night that I finished this, I was literally laying in bed starting to doze and realized I was like dreaming about braiding floral wire. But it's a good, like I said, it's not hard. Can get a little frustrating at times, but I think I found some workarounds. And it's a good, like, sitting around. I am really bad about not being able to just sit and like watch TV with my husband or with my family. I always have to have something I'm doing. So if they can drown out the sound of Jingle Bells going, thankfully my husband was able to, it's really good, like as you're watching Christmas movies, to just sit and braid together Jingle Bells. So I haven't shown the finished product yet because it is very loud. So I'll pull up a corner. You can see this is what we're working with, is this really pretty garland. And I've got a nice little, oh, a little wrinkled, but this nice little bow at the end. And then just perfect for, that's kind of stick together, perfect for a swag. So how do we get from Jingle Bells wire and ribbon to this. It's fairly simple. You are literally taking 3 strands of this wire and braiding just like you would your hair. And with each, series of 3 crossovers that you do, the wire in the middle is the one that gets the bell. And you just keep doing that. They don't totally overlap. They kind of bunch together, and it ends up just being this really kind of nice spiral look. And I'll show a close-up of that spiral here so you can kind of see what that looks like. So, without further ado, let me show you how we did all this. So, to start, you just need 3 pieces of the wire. I have found that working with smaller sections, this is very short. I did this because I'm just going to do kind of a tail for the existing piece. But I was working with about 2 to 3 feet at a time. So I ended up doing 3 sections and braiding them together, which I'll show you in a second. So you start with your 3 pieces, and you just take a long tail, I would say about 2 to 3 inches of tail there, wrap it around your finger to create a loop, and then wrap it like so. Focus, too close. And then wrap it like so. Wrap it like this to create your end. I kind of turn the end up that way so that you don't have bells falling off. It's not really a concern, but so then you just take it like this, separate out your 3 wires, and you do 1, 2, and then 3. And then on that center, you add a bell. You put it, it's easier said than done. Put it just through the back like that. And then once again, 1, 2, 3. Tighten them a little bit. And then you add another bell. Now you've got 2, see how they kind of push together? They're not going to lay, in a straight line, but that's kind of what you want. So then, once again, you go one, 2, 3. There you have your 3rd bell. So they kind of come together in this little trio. And then you have about 1 inch there. So you just keep repeating your 1-inch bells all the way down. And the braiding helps it to take shape, but it also helps to keep the bells secure so they don't do exactly what just happened there. So to start making your garland, you're going to want to start with 3 pieces of wire, 3 pieces of wire that are the same length. You can try to start out just at your 6-foot length. Best of luck. I found that working with somewhere between 2 and 3 feet of wire at a time was just challenging enough, but I could get it done. You end up kind of like I did first out the gate try about 6 feet, and you end up throwing the wire over your shoulders to try and keep it separate, and then it would tangle up because it is wire and not thread. So I have found 3 feet sections, create a loop at the end. As you finish your next section, just take the tail end of that section and kind of braid it through the last section to secure it. Really the best way to build up to that 9 foot or 6 foot or whatever length you want it to be. It also gets pretty heavy. These are metal bells. That's also why you use wire and not thread, because it is a heavy piece of decoration by the time you're done. So I suggest, I was trying to like do it on the couch or sit in a chair and have it just fall on the floor. But I suggest doing it at a table, because you can kind of drape it over the table and support some of that weight, and you don't end up with wires digging into your fingertips, because that was happening and that is not comfortable. So these are not extreme sports. we want to get through this with as little injury as possible. We want to get to Christmas without calluses and blisters and that kind of stuff. It's very repetitive. You're going to be doing this for a while. I would say as I was doing it, each section probably took me about an hour, sometimes less, sometimes more. The first one to figure out definitely took me more time. But by the time you get through a Christmas movie, you should have 2/3-ish, let's say, of your garland done. What I did was I created all 3 pieces, and then I took, I didn't want to pick this up, but each piece has that loop that you started with, and then each piece will have kind of tails that are left. I ended up leaving about 6 inches of tail on each of my pieces. And all I did to join them was to thread the tail of the previous one, all 3 of them, through the loop of the one you're joining it to, and then just kind of, because it is wire and it's really malleable and these bells stick together really well, you just kind of weave it through the bells and kind of wrap it around as you go. It's not as tight as a knot would be, but it's very secure. And I have been moving this around to film, and as I've been cleaning and decorating, and it has held up really well. I don't know if you'd want to go to like a 12-foot garland with this, because it does get heavy. But this is over 6 and it's totally usable. I just worry about trying to like get a really heavy 12-foot garland up on a mantle or something and have it stay. But it is heavy, it's noisy. That's why it's, Vivi, now is not the time. That's why it's staying down here, and I'm trying not to touch it as I'm talking. It's simple. It's, like I said, something you can do as you're sitting with your family watching Christmas movies. If you just need to take your mind off of holiday stress for a little bit, that's actually how this started. It's a great project. To finish it, all I did was take a little bit of this red velvet ribbon that I use for everything around the holidays. I buy spools and spools of it. And I just did kind of a necktie tie here. You could do a bow. I know bows are very trendy right now. Frankly, that's why I didn't do a bow. Also, I just like the look of kind of this tassel almost finishing for it. So then it adds a nice little pop of color, makes it a little bit more festive. I hope you guys find this fun and helpful. And if you guys decide to do this, I would love to see where you put your garland. And I'd love to see your end results. Please find me here or on Instagram, TikTok. And if you like this and you like to see more of what I'm doing this Christmas season, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, y'all.